Hey, Curtis,
Hey Oz.
what do you got for us this week?
This week we've got Neighbors plus Perry Mason throwing a Victoria's Secret runway meets Surf Ninjas.
Oh,
This week we're watching Baywatch the movie.
Baywatch.
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 Oh, welcome back to Let's Talk About Flicks, the weekly podcast where we take a monthly theme. We're wrapping up this month's theme finally.
Yes, we are. I know, right? After
Finally.
five grueling weeks.
Yeah, where we take a weekly or monthly theme and satisfy it. I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I'm the other host, Curtis.
And before we get to this romp of a film, let's throw
That's one word.
Throw a shout out to our Patreon subscribers, Don S, Aaron A, and Mandy K. Thank you for your patronage.
Your loyalty is appreciated.
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Panda Watch.
Panda Watch.
Oh, Baywatch.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Now, oddly enough, despite the fact that when the show Baywatch came out, I probably would have been like the target demographic for this show.
Yes, like a mid-teen male.
Yeah. Never seen an episode of it.
Oh, Pamela Anderson. Oh, Carmen Electra.
Erica
Yes.
Olenak.
Yasmin Blaine.
David Hasselhoff. Never seen an episode of this show.
It was one of those shows that I occasionally had on in the background. Maybe I was reading a Nintendo Power or something,
right.
and Baywatch is out in the background or something.
That sounds like a good day, actually.
Yeah.
Dad's gone. Let's open up a Nintendo Power and watch
Yep.
some Baywatch.
I'll undo the centerfold of the Zelda 2 dungeon map.
As I watch Baywatch.
Baywatch.
So, yeah, Baywatch.
It was a movie.
It was.
It by all technicalities was a movie.
It wasn't Wild Wild West.
It was better than Wild Wild West. Although that is a very low bar to clear.
It is. I mentioned last week. I had fun with this movie, but again, keep in mind, this was week 5 of bad movies about TV shows. So I've already removed my brain when this was on. I was not looking for some social commentary or cultural impact. It was
Existential meaning.
Yeah, it was like, look at all those bronze people that are in way better shape than I'll ever be in. And look at them. And
it was basically 90 minutes of that.
yeah, and like we talked about last week, we're not old, but we're getting older.
Yes.
And it's reaching a point of self-proclaimed ickiness when the hot bodies they're running around in movies to flaunt them for their sexual looking proud whatever when they are at an age where I could have taught them.
Yeah.
Like that.
Then it gets weird.
And so, or when I compare them and compare again, not that it has anything to do with anything, but it's like when I look at their age in comparison to my daughter's age.
Sure.
It's like
which one is it closer to?
Yeah, and it's like it makes no difference because I'm watching in the comfort of my own home, and I'm a respectable person with morals and whatnot. But it's like this is a movie full of people in bikinis, or not bikini. Well, yeah, sometimes.
Well, some bikinis, yeah.
And they even joke in the movie about how tight their bathing suits are. So clearly they are put on display.
Yes.
And I do not consider myself a gross person or a person who even finds it's whatever, it's I don't watch this and be like, ooh, finally
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked a little bit last week of like the comfortability of watching a movie like this, and it's like, because these are attractive people, they're beautiful people,
sure.
And it's like, but is it okay to admit that they're beautiful people when
I also
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. But just when I could have had them sitting in my math class.
Sure. I think it's also one thing to be like, that is a beautiful person. It's another thing to be like, I am attracted to that person.
True. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, beautiful person and sexy person are two different, like, adjectives.
Yes.
And so, but yeah, I mean, this movie, even last week, like, just full of beautiful people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like the bizarro of childhood when you're watching a movie with your parents and then like a sexy scene comes on. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm watching this with my parents, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And flip that now to where, like, I'm watching a movie like this with, you know, like with my wife, and then here are all these slow motion hot bodies running down the beach. Yeah. And it's like, do I watch? Do I look away? Like, I'm not, watching a movie doesn't make you unfaithful, but it's still at the same time, like, this is just, I'm too old for this.
I will say The Rock is older than us, so
he is.
So I felt fine oogling The Rock.
Yeah, he's not a human. The Rock is not a human being. He is a protein digesting machine.
It's just a hunk of meat.
I will admit though, with full full disclosure, like Dwayne Johnson and Zac Efron are gorgeous human beings.
Yeah, of course they are.
Like, good for them. Like, to wake up every morning and be like, I look like Zac Efron it'd be okay. Like, I'm happy with my life now, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But, you know, I have this kind of it's a running joke with my wife, but it's not something that's constant of like, if I woke up in the morning and looked like this person, you know, like I just woke up and went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror and suddenly I looked like, you know, mid-30s Brad Pitt. Would I be upset? No.
Fight Club Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Would I be upset if I looked like Fight Club Brad Pitt? No. Would I be upset if I looked like Zac Efron in the morning? No, I would not. If I woke up and suddenly there was some like serum I accidentally took that transformed the way I look, no, Zac Efron would not be a person I would be like, you know, like Clint Howard, probably.
Yeah. I don't know if the same goes the other direction.
Steve Buscemi.
You know, wake up uglier than you are.
Yeah, waking up looking like Willem Dafoe. I wouldn't.
With the constant eyes and white style.
No, I wouldn't be like, yes, I look like Willem Dafoe.
John Lovitz is what I would look like in the morning.
Yeah, and all due respect to those guys, I admire your abilities and efforts. But yeah, if I woke up and like, oh man, look at me. Sean Penn.
Danny DeVito.
Right, yeah. Well, Danny DeVito wouldn't be able to see the mirror, but...
Yeah, true.
If you guys are listening, we apologize. But
yes,
I think you guys could even be like, yes, Zac Efron is more attractive than I am.
Yes, and I think we all agree Zac Efron is more attractive than any of us.
Yeah, it's like good for Zac Efron. So.
Yeah, very good-looking man.
But yeah, so speaking of Zac Efron, he plays two-time Olympian Matt Brody. No, two-time Olympic gold medalist Matt Brody, the vomit comet himself. He is our second fiddle in this movie to the Baywatch crew. Baywatch consists of Dwayne Johnson as Lieutenant Mitch Buchanan. Which is funny because it is kind of a running joke through the movie. Lieutenant of what? Like, he just gives himself the name Lieutenant. Yeah. We also have other already lifeguarded Kelly Rohrbach as CJ Parker, playing the Pamela Anderson role. Oh man, I don't know. Ifnesh Hadera as Stephanie Holden, another lifeguard. Those are really our three main lifeguards. Then we have our lifeguards in training. Matt Brody, like we mentioned. Alexandria Daddario as Summer Quinn. And John Bass as Ronnie Greenbaum.
Ronnie Greenbaum.
Rolls off the tongue. So those are our good guys.
Yes.
Those are the good guys. Our main bad guy is Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Victoria Leeds. A role written for a man, but pH balanced for a woman.
Ooh, I like what you did there.
And so, so she's there. We also have Captain Thorpe, played by Rob Hubel. Which he was fine. I like Rob Hubel, but he was
I thought he was a little miscast.
Yeah, he was.
Normally, I like him, but
he was miscast, but he was whatever. We've got the only cop in the movie, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II as Sergeant Garner Ellerby.
Also from the Aquaman movie.
Okay.
He's Mantis from Aquaman. Yeah.
Okay.
And they suspended shooting on this, but he is going to be Wonder Man in the MCU for the Wonder Man show that they're Disney Plus show that they're doing.
That's cool. We also have Oscar Nunez as Councilman Rodriguez. We got Oscar Nunez. Yeah, we have Hannibal.
The never aging Oscar Nunez.
Never.
He's like in his upper 60s. Yeah. He still looks like he's 35.
Yeah, he still looks like that. Like somewhat recurring role in Reno 911. That was even before The Office. Like Oscar Nunez, he's taken whatever Paul Rudd, Keanu Reeves medicine, Tom Cruise medicine. Although Tom Cruise has probably had a little work done, and Hannibal Buress is Dave the Tech.
Dave the Tech.
Right. Dave the Tech, just because of this, not like one of those cool like George Miller names that they give in the Mad Max universe, like Toe Cutter, or this is just Dave the Tech.
Dave the Tech.
And
it's an old family name.
Yeah,
the Tech.
Yeah. And
from a long line of the Techs.
And I think I got them all. I mean, we have a Pamela Anderson and a David Hasselhoff cameo, but whatever. Sure. But that's pretty much it. There's a couple of henchmen of Victoria Leeds, but whatever. So and that is the cast. I'm going to step back and let you unfold this onion of a plot.
It's many layers to this plot. We open with Mitch, Rock the Dwayne Johnson, saving a windsurfer who hits his head, demonstrating how effective of a Baywatch lifeguard he is. Everyone loves Mitch. He walks down the beach.
Everybody knows Mitch.
He knows everybody. Everybody knows him. He's bragging about how big his is as he saves everyone. Lots of F-woids in this movie, guys.
And a lot of self-referential sexual comments in this movie.
I think probably one of the things that people found very jarring about this, similar to last week's movie, Dukes of Hazzard, a lot more crass than the original Baywatch show.
Yeah, we got to get that R rating. Well, and honestly, like, I feel like remakes of older TV shows like this are like the inverse of horror movies. In horror movies, they're trying to get a PG-13 rating so we can get younger kids in the seats. But but honestly, I think with movies like this, and like last week's Dukes of Hazzard, they're like, the people who watch those shows are rated R people. Like, they're old enough to go see a rated R movie.
Yeah.
We're not going to get PG-13 kids in, although they probably would have gotten PG-13 boys in the seats for this movie. But you know what I mean? Like, they're like, we might as well crank it up because we're not going to bring in the under 18 crowd because they don't know what Baywatch is. They don't know what Dukes of Hazzard is. So let's just bring it in.
So Mitch comes across a kid on the beach playing with a bag of drugs. That's what was it? Flocka.
Flocka. Something he just knew the name of.
Yes. Apparently there's a big Flocka problem on the Baywatch beach.
Yep.
He then, not so coincidentally, meets with the new private beach club owner, the Hunt Club owner, Victoria Leeds, played by Miss Jonas herself. So they introduce her early on, and probably not so coincidentally right after he finds the Flocka.
Yeah.
We meet Ronnie and Dave. They're flying a drone. Ronnie is taken aback by CJ, who's running in slow motion. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of running in slow motion.
Yes.
Matt Brody, Zac Efron's character, then pulls up on his motorcycle. He's jacked, by the way, in this movie.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, is he jacked for this movie?
Right, we expect Dwayne Johnson to be jacked, and he is.
Yeah.
But I would arguably say, like, just physique wise, Zac Efron is in better shape than
He's probably more cut.
I mean, you see like all 8 abs, like
Yeah, and I think those 8 abs have 8 abs.
they
of their
do.
own.
Yeah, they're like
There's 64 abs.
That's true.
He hits on Summer, who walks by, and she just dismisses him right away. Ronnie is applying to be a lifeguard, to be on the Baywatch team for the 3rd time. He's made fun of by a bro dude due to Ronnie's
Zane.
incredibly
Zane,
due to Ronnie's incredibly hairy nips. Some kind of odd hair, like male hair pattern.
perfectly round, hairy.
Very, very round. Stephanie, another lifeguard, again, as you mentioned before, she's kind of the second in command to Lieutenant Mitch. So she just gets rid of Zane. Like, we don't talk about each other that way here.
We're family.
So, yeah, good for her. Mitch Mitch and Stephanie shake down Matt. He says, "I'm already on the team. I'm already on there. I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist." And they're like, "Yeah,
I'm a fast swimmer."
Therefore, a good lifeguard. Ronnie then chokes on something. CJ saves him, and some. I don't know if I'll use the word hilarity, but again, Ronnie likes CJ.
Yeah,
he finds her very attractive, and so I would say his body has an involuntary response to her saving him.
Yeah, that Dave the tech points out.
Yes, he then to hide his involuntary response, just falls forward onto like a wooden beach chair with slats.
Yeah.
And we
get a Franks and Beans episode here.
Yes, his involuntary response gets caught between the slats.
How'd you get the beans above the Frank? Yeah, I don't know how he did it. Like he got the total package trapped,
wedged, and of course, like he couldn't just voluntarily do anything about his involuntary response.
One would think, though, when getting that trapped, you wouldn't even have to think about it. You probably just deflate. Like I would think that, like, boy, you keeping that going, huh?
I got a feeling he kind of got stuck in his own head, and like it's one of those like don't think about.
Oh yeah. More blood rushing. Don't think about it.
Yes, yeah. Don't think about this.
CJ didn't exactly leave or make it better either.
Yes, yeah. She stuck around, which probably didn't help the situation.
I found the CJ Ronnie stuff charming.
Yes, I did as well.
Just because they on paper, like you look at these two, you're like, no, that doesn't work. But
yeah.
I liked it.
Well, and she was like a genuinely nicer, kinder
she
character,
really was.
And she didn't just dismiss him.
Right. Like Ronnie was accepted by everybody but the bros. Like
yes,
like Zane, and then they just quickly shot that down. Like I did. I like that.
Yeah. We then see Mitch meeting with Captain Thorpe, Rob Hoibel's character. He's the head of, I think, Parks and Rec or something.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like Parks and Rec and police, whatever. We get to know the Matt character a little bit more. What was it? The vomit
comet.
So yeah, we watched that clip of him at the Olympics puking in the pool.
I really like. Go ahead.
During a relay race.
Yeah,
so he won the individual contests, but he didn't put as much effort or care into the team contest. Go ahead.
I like Zac Efron as an actor. I like that his persona doesn't, like his human, like his own personal like makeup doesn't appear to fit his look. Like he has no problem poking fun at himself. I think he just has fun. Like I really like those throwback scenes where he's being interviewed at the Olympics and he's got like the grill in, and it's like he just leans. I have a lot of respect for that when you don't take yourself so seriously that you're like, let's just have fun. You know, like he has fun.
Well, and I did take down a little quote during one of those scenes where they're watching him at the Olympics being interviewed by a broadcaster, and the interviewer gets frustrated with him and just says, "Are you dyslexic?" And he goes, "No, I'm Caucasian."
Right. Because he's just dumb.
Yeah, he's not a bright person. And he's probably also high on something there too.
Because And that was almost like a disconnect, though, because really the Matt Brody we see in real time in the movie, like, he seems in over his head, but he never really comes off as dumb.
No.
He's just...
Very, very, very self-loathing.
Yes, just unprepared for what... This would be a piece of cake. I'm an Olympic swimmer. I could be a lifeguard.
Yeah.
Underestimating what especially Baywatch has to do.
Yeah, very entitled.
Yeah.
Very entitled, but self-loathing.
Do want to get to this real quick, though. I meant to mention it earlier. I'm sure you saw it, too. Half of the story writers on this movie were Thomas Lennon and Robert Van
that's
Garen.
right. I had that in my notes earlier, and I forgot to mention it. So, yeah, the Reno 911s themselves.
Yeah, so, again, just like last week, these guys know funny. Like, they are hilarious people.
So, yeah, so the parts of this movie that work
are probably them.
Are probably due to them, yeah. Thorpe makes Mitch hire Matt, so you gotta hire Brody.
Yeah.
He's on.
It's good PR. He's good PR.
Yeah, exactly, because they need PR for some reason.
for
Baywatch.
When Mitch can walk around and literally everyone knows who he is. Yeah, and we dress everybody else in super tight swimwear. It's like, well, we need good public relations.
Yeah.
Isn't saving lives good PR for...
Leads. So the Chopra character meets with the council. I'm just going to call him Councilman Nunez. I didn't even take down what his name was.
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, okay. Meets with Oscar Nunez, Rodriguez, whatever. He's a councilman. He says he almost has all of the other councilmen on board to sign off on her terms. Again, this is just like Dukes of Hazzard. This is another real estate heist where, like, again, the bad guy mechanism is we're here to take your land.
Right.
to open a rich person something or other. So that's it. She pays him off with an expensive watch. Back on the beach, Thorpe is addressing the crowd, says Baywatch has 3 open spots. They're the elite of the elite. They hold trials for hundreds of new candidates, including Matt, Summer, and Ronnie. Let's see. Mitch challenges Matt to, like, the real challenge course. They're literally carrying refrigerators over their shoulders.
Right. Yeah, like after he already does, like, this American Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah.
Then it's like, let's roll tires and carry 2 refrigerators. Because this is Baywatch. We deliver appliances on our days off.
I'm assuming there was fresh ice made in the ice maker as well.
Those are keg fridges.
French doors, those are harder to carry.
Right.
There's then, as this winds down, 2 kids and a mom fall off a pier, and so the Baywatch team springs into action. Matt tries to help, but kind of gets in the way. So despite all that, they announced that Matt, Summer, and Ronnie all make the team. They gave a spot to Ronnie, Oz, because, as Mitch says, he's got heart. He knows how to be a team player, and he's got heart. Leeds then pulls up on the beach, invites the whole team to her club. Brody looks through some social medias, kind of ridiculing his fall from grace. Brody ends up crashing at a cot at Mitch's, and CJ and Ronnie bond over a CPR mannequin. So CJ and Ronnie are starting to get to know each other a little bit better. Oscar Nunez then says there's another scene between him and Leeds where I'm still working on the votes. And she's like, I thought you had the votes, and then he's like, well, you know what? I got some dirt on you.
Yeah.
I know you're dealing Flocka. So I wonder if anything bad is going to happen to Oscar Nunez.
Nope, she's completely going to back off and abandon her plans.
Yep, that's what'll happen, because that's what happens in these movies. On the beach, they get a code that a boat is on fire. We get some terrible green screen with Zac Efron holding onto the rock on a jet ski on their way out there. Mitch gets on the boat, dives underneath, like, the water that's on fire from the gasoline. Some terrible dialogue as they save the people. Brody goes to dive under the fire, gets trapped. They have to save him. Turns out Oscar Nunez was on the boat, and Oz, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. A couple of the survivors on the boat have Flocka on them, and she says, I came up the stairs on the boat, and the boat was already on fire. Back on the beach, Officer Ellerby So the one police officer in the movie and Mitch squabble more about jurisdiction. And I will say Officer Ellerby has a point here.
A very good point.
You're not police. Stop investigating.
Yeah.
You're just a guy.
I feel
investigating another guy. Yeah.
I feel like Ellerby's character was there to kind of poke fun at the whole Baywatch show.
Yes. I would agree.
Like, you're lifeguards. Let us police.
Yeah. There's another semi-fun scene where Ronnie is showering. There's co-ed showers. He's showering completely naked. CJ comes up and says, it's a co-ed shower, but we leave our suits on.
Yeah. And what was he singing? He was singing, like, Fireworks or something by, Katy Perry. Like, he was singing a song you wouldn't typically think a guy would be singing in the shower.
Yeah, just by himself with no music playing. Mitch tells the others he suspects that Leeds is dealing Flocka. And they're gonna go to the club and investigate, despite the fact that he's been told by the police not to.
Right.
And Brody even says, like, isn't this a job for the police?
Oh yeah, he's totally like, let them do the work.
Yes, it's their job, not ours. At the club, Leeds butters up Brody, and she's kind of, the devil on his shoulder, telling him, Mitch is threatened by you, pits them against each other. You should be lieutenant, not him.
Again, what does it mean to be lieutenant?
Lieutenant of what?
I know. And how many lifeguards are there? Are there just 3? Because we only see the 3 plus the 3 trainees. But who's guarding the beach during lifeguard tryouts? I wondered that multiple times. I'm like, you guys work all day, every day?
7 days a week.
No wonder you're wanting 3 new recruits.
Sun up to sundown, dawn to dusk.
When you have the 3 recruits, they work the same shift you work.
Summer and Brody have a moment. He reveals he grew up in foster care. So poor Brody.
He actually he mentioned he liked it. Like, he didn't mind it.
Yeah.
He said it was kind of cool because one of the houses he stayed at had a pool. And if it wasn't for foster care, he probably would have never gotten into swimming, which means he never would have been an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, never would have been the vomit comet.
Thanks, foster care.
Yeah. Mitch says he needs, still at this party at the club, needs Ronnie to cause a distraction, so he gets on the mic and starts dancing for Leeds while Steph and Mitch snoop for drugs. Leeds knows what Ronnie's doing, by the way. She snips it out right away. Yeah. She's like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mitch and Brody also have an argument, and he ends up falling in the pool while Summer sadly looks on. The next day, Leeds' goons throw a dead chum-covered Dave in the ocean because he had also threatened to blackmail Leeds. Poor Hannibal Buress. He didn't deserve that.
No. It was kind of, it was a great idea. Let's kill him and then chum him and let the sharks get him.
Yeah.
One would think the sharks would have gotten more of him than they did, but I don't know much about sharks. I don't watch Shark Week.
Thinking of Step Brothers. Why are you so sweaty? Watch Cops. It's Shark Week.
I love Step Brothers.
Brody goes to apologize to Mitch the next day. He believes Mitch's theories about Leeds. Like, there's something to it. So Brody, Mitch, and Summer sneak into the morgue to investigate Oscar Nunez's body. And they find out that, according to the file there, his neck was broken before he died, Oz. Oh, no.
I didn't see that coming.
Nefariousness.
Thankfully, thankfully, Summer knows more about neck injuries than she let on. Because they're talking about, it's been these certain vertebrae have been broken, and she was like, you could do this and not break your neck. And it's like,
thanks, Summer. She took like a CPR 101 course, and now she knows human anatomy inside and out.
It's all it takes.
A couple of Leeds' goons come. They see him coming, so they hide in the morgue drawers. While the goons come in to switch out the paperwork about the cause of death. While they're in the drawers, some necrotic fat from another corpse starts dripping in Brody's mouth.
This was kind of fun.
Yeah. So he gives himself away. He's like, I can't do this. He opens up the drawer and gets out. Summer records on her phone, gets a video recording of the goons like basically saying their plan out loud. There's a big foot chase and blah blah blah. They end up smashing her phone and getting away, but whatever. Yeah. They lose the evidence. Ellerby and Thorpe chew them out. You're just lifeguards. Stop investigating.
That foot chase was really boring.
Yeah, it was. It was
they had all like the quick cuts and like quick edits that you would have in that, but it's like it's a foot chase.
Yeah.
Like that's all it was. It was just really boring.
Yeah, it was a bad foot chase. Of course, Mitch and Brody keep investigating.
Yeah, right.
They deduce that the Huntley Club's seafood suppliers are smuggling in the drugs, so they sneak back into the club. Mitch is a chef and Brody in drag, because that's funny.
Yep.
This movie's only 6 years old. Mitch calls Ellerby and Thorpe, hey, we found drugs, and again, they tell him, stop, it's not your job. At the same time, though, other cops are fishing Dave's corpse out of the water, and Thorpe chews out Mitch for not being at his post while Dave's corpse was found, thinking that he was a shark attack victim,
right,
and that he died on Mitch's watch while Mitch wasn't there. So Thorpe fires Mitch Oz and puts Brody in charge.
That's right. Takes his keys to Shack 1.
We then have I'm not going to say a fun-ish sequence of Mitch working at a Sprint phone store while Say You, Say Me while Lionel Richie is playing in the background. Original Mitch, OG Mitch, David Hasselhoff Oz then shows up at the store confronting new Mitch about how far he's fallen and tells him the Bay needs you.
Yep.
I feel inspired.
It did. I'm gonna leave my post and go get a Baywatch job.
Yeah. So Brody basically goes back to Ellerby's office, steals some files about Dave's death. Summer looks at the photos of Dave's corpse and says those wounds aren't shark bites, because Summer again is a master of biology and anatomy.
She knows.
Mm-hmm. Ronnie says, I knew Dave. We worked tech together at the Huntley Club. So Ronnie breaks into the Huntley Club servers and right there finds all sorts of drug evidence and her real estate acquisition plans right there. I'm assuming that on the Huntley Club servers there's just an open like Microsoft Word file like detailing these plans.
Right. Yeah.
With pictures of the drug evidence.
Yeah, and the synopsis of the business plan.
Yes. Brody says, hey, there's going to be a party on Leeds' boat. On that last real estate holdout is there. So there's another guy who's not selling.
Yeah.
So we're going to attend, we're going to find the flocka, and we're going to save the other guy. So we're in Act 3, Oz. We're in the climactic scene here. Brody, using his swimming skills, his Olympic swimming skills, swims under the boat and finds hidden drugs in a secret compartment underneath the boat. He tells Summer to contact Mitch. Ronnie, CJ, and Stephanie find the real estate, the last guy tied up. Summer knocks out a guard. Leeds and her men capture Brody and put him in a cage on a smaller boat. Leeds reveals she bribed Thorpe and got Mitch fired. No way, Oz. Didn't see that coming.
I thought Thorpe was straight as an arrow the whole movie.
Yeah. Leeds and her goons then push the cage in with Brody inside into the water. He imagines Summer. He sees Summer coming to rescue him, blowing air into his mouth while How Deep Is Your Love plays. Turns out his imagination was playing tricks on him. It's actually Mitch doing that.
Thankfully, Mitch knew. Granted, lots of this movie were a stretch, but
yeah,
for Mitch to know exactly where this cage was underwater on a dark night was like, okay.
Yeah. And to dive in without the goons seeing him.
Yep. Yeah, rode up on a jet ski, unannounced.
Yes. Nothing to see here, folks. A gunfight breaks out. A helicopter arrives for Leeds to escape on. CJ and Ronnie shoot off a bunch of fireworks on the yacht to kind of distract them and delay the helicopter. CJ passionately kisses Ronnie and calls him the tech guy.
Yeah.
Good for Ronnie.
Good. Yeah, good for CJ too.
Mm-hmm. And she's got her tech guy. Mitch and Brody take out the goons. Leeds shoots Mitch. He no-sells it.
Oh, yeah.
Like Hogan shaking off punches.
Exactly. You were just shocked. Look, I know that you are just a walking muscle, but even muscle density is not going to stop a bullet from penetration.
Leeds holds a gun on Brody. Mitch ends up blowing up Leeds with a giant fireworks cannon. Turns out that part of the reason Mitch no-sold the bullet wound is because he had sedated himself with a poisoned sea urchin.
That's right. That was that was your MacGuffin from way early in the movie.
Yeah.
Don't step on that urchin. It's poisonous.
Yeah. Brody punches out Thorpe. Thorpe's arrested. Ellerby's like, you know what? You're okay with me.
Yeah.
The next day, we get our epilogue scene here, Oz. Ronnie wakes up to CJ putting her shirt back on and making him breakfast. Brody and Summer kiss. Mitch introduces their new captain, Casey Jean, played by Pamela Anderson herself. I think the way they shot it, it looked like she wasn't actually there.
I agree.
I think they green screened her into this.
Yeah,
shot.
I agree. And she had no lines. Really didn't even look at the camera. It was. Yeah, I agree. It was like she is, everyone.
It was weird.
She refuses to be on set, but she's here.
Yeah. It ends with them all bouncing in slow motion, and then there's a mid-credit scene where the two Mitches share beers. And that's it. That's 2017's Thomas Lennon, Robert Ben Garant written Baywatch.
Directed by Seth Gordon, not Seth Gordon Green.
No, not him. Or even Seth Green.
Yeah, Seth Gordon grew up in Evanston, Illinois.
Good for him.
And then went to Yale.
Wow, highly educated.
And then
no wonder this film turned out so well.
And then left Yale to teach high school for 6 months in Kenya. And then found himself.
Interesting track record.
No kidding. And then he directed The King of Kong. That's why I knew that name. That was that Donkey Kong documentary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It all checks out now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, hey, at this point in the show, folks, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about. In this case, Baywatch. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give this just 5 lifeguards.
5 lifeguards?
Yeah, that's more than they had on staff.
That's true.
So 5 lifeguards. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with 3 poisonous sea urchins.
Okay, that's fair.
So 3 poisonous sea urchins.
This movie wouldn't have worked without that poisoned sea urchin.
Right, that everything hinged around that sea urchin. It was one of those when they showed it at the beginning. It's like, all right, that's gonna come back later.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't show that in a movie without it coming back later.
Exactly.
Next up, folks, we got Outside Insight. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Oz, what is your Outside Insight?
I have a 5-star review by Caitlin, left 8 days ago. She says...
8 days? Oh, wow.
Yeah, she says, seen loads of times, but really like this film. And Zac Efron is so fit in it. Also, Ronnie looks like a chubby Cole Sprouse, and I've never noticed it before. I still don't really get the film, LOL, but it's funny. I just don't know what Priyanka Chopra is up to in it, but I really like the film. It's funny.
I don't get Baywatch.
I've seen it loads of times. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what the villain's up to, but this movie is funny. Thanks, Caitlin.
How do you not understand this movie?
I don't know. I got it after one viewing.
Yeah.
Caitlin's seen it loads of times. For reference, her letterbox avatar is a Bratz doll. So there you go. Zac Efron is so fit, and Ronnie looks like a chubby Cole Sprouse.
So fit.
And I've never noticed it before after loads of time seeing this movie.
Loads. Yep.
Caitlin probably works at a vape store. Because it's fun.
It's fun. I don't get it, but it's fun.
It's fun.
And he's so fit.
People look like dragons when they leave my store. And dragons are cool.
Dragons.
That's all. All right, that's my outside insight. What do you got?
Mine is a 10 out of 10 review from the Internet Movie Database from Irvin Lesh.
Oh.
The Irvin Lesh. Left in May 2017. So again, I think this person ran out of the theater to go home and type up a review for this film. Honestly, I am not sure why people are bagging on this film. It's great. The plot is fun and runs smoothly. Some of the jokes are actually great and unexpected. Others are cheesy on purpose. Dwayne Johnson knocks it out of the park on this one. All of the cast has character, and none of them are neglected. I'd recommend it to everybody. Don't listen to the useless critics and pointless user reviewers with super over-the-top movie standards. If you want to relax, laugh, watch this film. If you want to come in with a microscope and overanalyze something in a way it wasn't meant to be analyzed, just don't come to ruin it for others.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Leave Britney alone.
Basically. Don't talk about it. You're going to ruin it for me.
God, I like it. I don't want to look at it through a microscope.
Microscope and your science film reviewers.
Let Summer handle the science.
She knows what she's talking about.
Right.
Knows the difference between a shark bite and a knife wound.
She took Bio 2 in high school. Oh, boy.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, well, hey, folks, it's that time of the show you've all been waiting for, the 3-2-1, our signature segment, in which Oz and I each take 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the film in question, in this case, 2017's masterpiece, Baywatch. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one is, like, Zac Efron's character being called everything but Brody in the movie.
Sure, that running gag.
And it did get old, but I did read in the trivia that apparently Zac Efron was the one feeding all of the insults to Dwayne Johnson to tell back to him, which then made some of them kind of funny because once you realize it was more self-deprecation humor, it was like, oh, okay, that's fun.
It's a little different spin on it. Yeah.
Calling him Bieber, calling him, at one point he called him High School Musical, which
that one,
it's just funny, knowing he was in High School Musicals.
At one point he should have just, hey, Zac Efron.
Exactly. And so that's my first good. My second one is the production value. This movie looked great.
Yeah.
You could tell that the budget was high. They spared no expense, and it showed. The movie really popped. Like it looked clean. It was just a great looking film. And 3, I really like the Ronnie character. They set him up somewhat early to be the gag, and then saved him from being that gag. Like, you know, early on in the CJ stuff, you know, when he was raging and it was funny. And then when he's in line for lifeguard training for the 3rd time and like Stephanie calls out Zane.
Yeah.
And it's like they realize that, look, he hasn't even made the team, but we're still protective of who he. And then
they treat him with dignity.
They really did. And then the whole rest of the movie, he was dignified. Like he was part of the team. Brody was the joke.
Yeah.
And he, you know, and so I really like that. And of course, then he gets the girl and she like genuinely likes him. And it was like, good for you, Ronnie. Like, as goofy as some of the stuff was in the movie, like we even talked pre-show that with a movie like this, especially rated R, there were no boobs in this movie. Yeah. There was no exposed breasts, but there was one exposed male private area, and one highly defined private male area, and so it's like it was just kind of fun because it's like easily could have taken the hard R route in a beach movie, but there was no breasts. And so,
made it more of like a sex romp kind of.
Yeah, and I'm glad they didn't, because it would have really detracted from the film. And so those are my three goods.
My three goods. First of all, as we kind of open with, everyone's just very pretty. Lots of very pretty people. Yeah, I mean, and I mentioned that in the sense that, like, it's sort of the callback to the show.
Yes.
You know, where everyone in that show, just very pretty people. So it continues that through line of, you can't be a lifeguard at Baywatch. Well, until Ronnie comes along, unless you're incredibly attractive.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is where they kind of bucked that. It's like they owned it up until Ronnie was the last one to be brought on the team, and then it was almost like, see, you can be, anybody can be.
Anyone can wear the mask.
Yeah.
Anyone can be gorgeous and be a lifeguard. Or not.
Right.
So that's my first good. My second is kind of a dumb gag, but in The Rock's apartment, in Mitch's apartment, in his fish tank, he has a little mini figure of himself, called Little Mitch.
Yeah.
And again, Brody is crashing at Mitch's place, and every time he looks at the fish tank, Little Mitch is in a different pose.
I found that kind of funny too. Just
get dumb, but just kind of like, all right, that is kind of funny.
Just a little quick throwaway gag.
Yeah. So Little Mitch in the fish tank is my second good, and my third good is the vomiting in the pool scene.
Yeah, I agree.
Where Brody is just, again, it's them. Was it Mitch and Thorpe watching the footage of him of Brody from the Olympics, and him swimming down like the lane in the pool. There's just this green streak behind him. So I found that to be humorous as well. Just the sight gag of someone swimming down a streak of their own vomit in a pool.
Right.
So those are my three goods, Oz. What are your two bads?
My first one is, aside from like the villains at the end of the movie, there's two murders in this movie, and they're both comedians. Like, like, why? So my first bad is just the killing comedians. Like, even though Oscar Nunez's character was not a comedic role in this movie, like, Hannibal Buress is just funny anyway. And it's like, so when I saw these two in the cast, I'm like, oh, I like those guys. And then they were dead. And then I was sad. And that, I was like, oh, I like Hannibal Buress. He's just...
I know. Yeah, at the same time, I was like, oh, man, why did they kill Hannibal Buress?
I know. It's like, oh, bummer. So that's my first bad. It's just like the two murder targets for leads happened to be like two people I was excited to see in the movie.
Yeah.
And then my second bad was something that happened a handful of times. It was enough that it took me out of the moment. Is like, clearly we've got these lifeguards doing police work, and knowing they're like infiltrating the morgue, and it's like all these places they shouldn't be. And it's like they're taking on like these super serious plot development things. And then it seems like every scene they were doing this in, they stopped to do something dumb. Like, and especially like in the morgue where they're checking out Rodriguez's body. And meanwhile, it's like they know they're running against the clock until someone comes in. And then Mitch has got Brody doing this, well, check under his guy. And then he's taking pictures of it, and it's like, for me, it's like that just goes completely against Mitch's character.
Yeah,
like, you're supposed to be, like, you're the ringleader of this life.
You're the guy who wants to do this investigating.
Yeah, like, you're like, Summer's doing Lookout and taking it seriously. Brody is doing what Mitch is telling him to do, even though he doesn't want to do it. And the whole time Mitch has got him doing the stuff as a gag.
Yeah,
and it just really ran against that character. It wasn't as bad in the other parts, but there were still parts where I'm like, why are you breaking now to do a joke? Like,
it was very out of character.
Like, this is a serious like moment in the movie, and you're making a gag, and it just didn't fit. So that's my second bad, was this stopping to mess around during a serious point in the film.
Yeah.
So what are your two bads?
My two bads, and I kind of mentioned this one earlier, like Zac Efron and drag, like, ha, it's there he is.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
wearing women's clothes, and that's funny because it's a man wearing women's clothes, and come on. This movie should have known better based on
Yeah.
who wrote this,
Right.
and even when it came out, like, again, not that it excuses anything from Wild Wild West, but like that was from 1999, still terrible.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't as railed against at that point, and 2017, come on, you know better.
And for what it's worth, you and I are not against that culture.
Yeah.
Like there are people that is who they are. The RuPaul's Drag Race, and
Yeah.
it's like that's wonderful. But so to those people do it for fun. And they do it because that's who they are. Like they're making a spectacle of it in the show,
as a part of their identity,
right? Which is great. And so to see a movie like this, take that and just be like, well, look, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. Funny when Zac Efron does it.
No, it's not.
And we're like, not really.
It's really not. No, this and again, this should have known better.
Right, absolutely.
So yeah, big bad for that one. My second bad, and again, I sort of alluded to this earlier as well, but like, it's another movie in which the entire like bad guy plot revolves around land acquisition.
Right.
like it. It's like I guess start calling like Remax or like Century 21
right.
should be like producers of these films, because a lot of movies. And again, last week's Dukes of Hazzard, same thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to take the land from the good guys so the bad guys can make money off of it. And like, okay, like it's just like there's got to be another way you can create tension and create the conflict point that you need to
without having to be like, I'm going to take over the bay. I'm going to take over the county.
Yeah,
like you mentioned pre-show, I'm going to take over the local rec center.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you guys have a dance off,
those teens won't have a place to go and hang out.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna turn it into a Gap.
Right. Yeah, where they could shop.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another bad. It's just the same recycled like conflict point. All right, hey Oz, what's your one for Baywatch?
Even though we missed it last week, and we really haven't seen it a lot this month, we will see it next month when we get to our next theme. But why do these film remakes feel like it's necessary to drop OG cast cameos?
Yeah, I had that as one of my bad possibilities.
Just clearly shoehorning them in to be like, look, there's David Hasselhoff,
he's right there.
and it's like he's not playing a character. He's
playing David Hasselhoff.
He's just there because, well, he was in Baywatch, and people are going to love it if we bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, look, like, we already have a CJ character, so we can't call Pamela Anderson CJ, but we'll call her Casey Jean. Like, there she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe it's just, it doesn't work for me. I don't know who you're servicing with this.
Yeah.
Like are real Baywatch fans of the show watching this going, this movie sucks. Where's David there's David Hasselhoff. Totally redeemed yourself. This movie's great now. Like that's the linchpin.
There's 10 seconds left in the film. I better get some Pam Anderson.
But it's like that's the linchpin that holds this all together is the cast cameos. No, sorry. So that's my why do you got to shoehorn in the cameos?
Just because. Yep.
So what's your
I got two possible huns. I'll just go ahead and share them both here.
For it.
First one is when did Ronnie shave his nips?
Yeah.
Like that was a huge gag early in the film, and then all of a sudden they're just gone.
Which I don't blame him for shaving them.
No. Yeah, agreed completely. Yeah, they needed to be shaved, but then like they're there and then they're not.
Right.
I thought it would have been funnier if he just kept it.
Yeah, and then never brought attention to it again.
They accept his hairy circular.
Like there he is, pepperoni guy.
Yeah,
just let him go. It did. They look like little hairy coasters.
Yeah, they accepted everything else about Ronnie except his hairy nips.
CJ certainly did.
Maybe she would have even liked him with the hairy nips.
Possibly.
My other is after Mitch basically kills Leeds, wouldn't he be arrested at least for, like, manslaughter?
Nope. He's lieutenant.
He is a lieutenant. He killed a person.
Blew her up with a Roman candle.
Literally blew her up. At minimum, that's manslaughter, if not murder.
Right. That's true. I overlooked that fact.
So
it's like you kill the bad guy, you're fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I would think Ellerby would also be arresting Mitch at the end for blowing a person up.
Or at least having a conversation about it. Like, even if you're not going to arrest him, like, bring it up as a joke of, like, you know, she murdered those guys, but you knew you killed her, right? Yeah, well, and then, you know, pat him on the back. We'll talk about that later, Ellerby. You know.
Well, it was in defense of the Bay.
Yeah, for the Bay.
I did it for the Bay. The Bay needs you. You know, OG Mitch told me the Bay needs me.
That's true.
So.
I had a keychain.
So Mitch should have been arrested for manslaughter. Is my other
Yes,
thought.
he should have been.
All right. Well, hey, folks, that was 2017's Baywatch. And Oz, we are done with bad movies based on TV shows month.
Yes, we are. 5 weeks of it.
5 weeker.
Man. Well, we made it.
We did. We survived.
And let's reward ourselves, shall we?
Yes.
Let's watch.
Let's do something completely different next month.
Oh, absolutely. A whole different theme. Going in a whole nother direction.
Yes.
After, we need a palate cleanser. So we're going to shift, and we're going to spend the month of July talking about good movies based on TV shows.
Changed one word in the theme.
but completely changed the projection of what we'll be watching for the next 4 weeks.
And looking at our lineup, these are kind of good. You know, there's a couple. I would say a couple great movies.
Oh yeah,
and there's a couple good ones.
Yeah, but this is good movies based.
It is good. It is good.
And we've got room for change if we want it. But
yes.
But next week is locked in because we're about to announce it. Next week will be we'll go back to my plot and
a very good movie.
And we're gonna cover the 21 Jump Street movie.
21 Jump Street,
which is another show I've not seen a single episode of.
Same. I've seen like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but I've never seen an entire episode.
I'm aware Johnny Depp was in the show. And it's like a undercover cop thing with sexy cops and I don't
pretending to be younger than are.
Like I really have no idea what the show is about outside of what the movie is about, which is undercover cops acting younger than they are.
38 Jump Street. Yeah. Wait, 21 Jump Street.
Yeah. This movie is a ton of fun. It's a really fun movie. I will admit, when it came out, I was a little iffy, just because I was unsure at that time of Channing Tatum's comedy chops. But he's got them. He's got them in spades, and so. We will be covering, I don't even know what year it was. It doesn't matter.
2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah. It's about 10-ish years old.
Yeah. 21 Jump Street will be the movie we kick off good movies based on TV shows. And then I promise, folks, we're done with the based on TV show.
Then mediocre movies based on TV shows.
Yeah, movies that should have been based on TV shows. No, we're done with that run as the remainder of the year comes along. So, but yeah, 21 Jump Street for next week to kick off July. Social media wise, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Patreon link down below. Like, subscribe, comment. The goods. Just do that.
Yes.
Just do that stuff out of principle. Just
help the algorithm.
Even if you don't watch or listen to our show, you're not hearing this.
No, but it's telepathically being seeded in your brain.
If you happen to stumble across the last couple minutes of this episode, just like, subscribe, and comment. Just do it.
Just do it all.
We don't even care what you put. Just put first. Everybody just put first. It seems to be everyone's favorite comment. First.
I am commenting on this video.
Just tell us what you had for breakfast. We don't care.
Yeah. How'd that colonoscopy go?
Yeah. I did see, not that it matters to us because we're so far away, but they lowered the monetization YouTube standards.
Oh yeah.
Like it used to be like you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 views, or I don't, something crazy like that, more than that, to actually like start running ads on your channel. But they've cut that in half to start running like super chat donations, and like
Okay.
which again we're nowhere close to, and that's okay. But you can.
By the way, folks, this episode of Let's Talk About Flicks is brought to you by Maxwell House Coffee.
It is, yeah. So the best part of waking up is Maxwell House in your cup.
That's exactly how the jingle goes.
Looking at it like this month, looking at YouTube views real quick. Wild Wild West had 23 views. Okay. Masters of the Universe had 13, and Land of the Lost had 23. So
okay,
and we had one like and one dislike on the Masters of the Universe episode.
Oh no!
So we actually had some interaction, and it's at a 50%.
How could you not like our Masters of the Universe?
I don't know,
episode?
but I'm scrolling through real quick. That Conan the Barbarian had 61 views with 6 likes and 1 dislike. That's the only other one so far that's under 100%. Oh, Drop Dead Gorgeous had 1 like and 1 dislike.
Okay.
And episode 9, A New Year's Resolution, has 0 interaction, 8 views, no likes or dislikes, and that's it. Like everything else has at least 1 like. So like we're at 100% on vast majority of our episodes. We're doing great.
They're all that good.
We're doing great work. Great work, according to the 1 or 2 people that have liked our episodes. But that's not why we do this. So. But yeah, that's where we're at on the analytics. You've hit the analytic portion of the show.
Algorithm.
We have overall 129 views in the last 28 days. Lifetime,
that's a good number.
Lifetime, 1,683 views and 46 subscribers. Conan the Barbarian is our number 1 episode, followed by Batman, the 1966, and any guesses what the number 3 episode is?
I remember talking about this way back. It was that Ron Swanson music movie. What was that called?
Oh, yeah, Hearts Beat Loud.
Yeah, Hearts Beat. I know that one was getting surprisingly more views.
Not even top 10 anymore.
No, really.
I'm
gonna go with A Christmas Prince.
Dracula Dead and Loving It.
People love low grade Mel Brooks.
54 views.
I got a feeling though there's probably not a lot of other Dracula Dead and Loving It content out there.
No.
So for those people who are just diehards stands of that movie, we're really in their wheelhouse.
That probably explains why Ricky O, the story of Ricky, is number 4.
I get not a lot of content.
Yeah. 53 views. Like there now granted, this kind of puts us in a hole here. The average viewing duration of Ricky O is 52 seconds. Oh, our audience has watched an average of 1.6% of that episode.
Nice.
52 seconds. That's
all you need.
That's like literally long enough for us to go, hey Oz, hey Curtis, what are we watching this week? People tune in for the movie marriage and then leave.
That's it. That's all they need, because that really gives you the synopsis of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just our movie marriage.
Right. And they're like, okay, I've seen those movies, so I'm gonna go.
They listen to the first half of the jingle and then they're out.
Yep. So it is what it is. So
maybe people think the jingle is like the closing credits, and they're like, okay, that's done.
Oh yeah, marriages, weddings are fun. So let's do that. And then who wants to stick around for the actual marriage?
We should turn those movie marriages into like reels and like shorts and stuff.
But we could, yeah, and then put those on as YouTube shorts and watch them explode,
skyrocket,
yeah, through the roof. So, plus, to be honest, we operate on old people social media.
We do,
yeah. Like we're not on TikTok, we're not on Snapchat.
No snaps.
No Mastodon.
No Truth Social.
No. That's probably where
Yeah.
all of our viewers left to.
Yeah, they're all on Truth Social.
Which means they are not liking our Dukes of Hazzard. They're not liking our like, why is he knocking guys dressed in a drag? That's funny. So well, that wraps up another month.
Yep.
By June, buy bad movies based on TV shows. If you're tired, sleep, you get hungry, eat something.
Eat something. All right, see you later.
So, but now we will be back next week with 21 Jump Street. So for another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
We'll see you guys next week.